Hi everybody, I'm Nguyen. We just did Underdogs at Tansim August, and I'm leaving you a small message to explain what books I chose for the library. So there's 3 books that I chose: The Selfish Gene from Richard Dawkins, The Coloring of the American Mind from Jonathan Haidt and Greg Lukianoff, and The True Believer by Eric Hoffer. So they all have a similarity, which is that they will help you to understand how things work, and why it's important that we understand where we come from biologically, and also in our cultures, in our values, in our emotions, and how we must understand those things in order to be able to stay free in a world where artificial intelligence understands sometimes more than we do about our own selves. So if you read The Selfish Gene from Richard Dawkins from 1976, you're gonna have a view of biological systems, living systems in an overall sense. And the title, The Selfish Gene, explains how genes serve individual interests inside our bodies and can be seen as a unit for evolution. So the individual, one human being, is not a valid unit to understand evolution. It's the same thing for all living things. And it's really another way to think at things that is really about game theory and understanding the evolution of complex systems and statistics. So I highly recommend this book. It's one of the most important books of the century, I think. I also chose to, in the continuity, to present to you The True Believer by Eric Hoffer, which is a book about mass movements. It came out in 1951, and it explains the relationship between individual personalities, characters, and the tendency to be driven to certain movements. They can be political, they can be religious, they can be anything. They can be ideologies that people are driven to. So it's, I think, in our time of polarization, it's important to understand that we are all drawn to those feelings and tendencies, and we must understand what we would do if we did not think about it, in order to be able to understand and choose what we want to do if we think about it. So I highly recommend The True Believer. And the third book I chose is The Coloring of the American Mind by Greg Lukianoff and Jonathan Haidt, who are two contemporary American scholars who really worked on understanding the way that the university system works in the US, has been working for the past decades. And it's important to understand what is explained there also applies to us in Europe, because a lot of ideologies and ways of thinking emerge from this system of American universities, and then gets transposed in Europe differently according to our own systems. But in that book, they are discussing the way that university students are overprotected, and it prevents them from really thinking about things, because they are into safe spaces, and they get trigger warnings when a difficult subject is discussed, so they can leave, they can choose not to think about it. And it goes on to explain a lot of things about identity politics and intersectionality, which is very present in our media everywhere now, even in Europe. So I highly recommend you read the 3 books, maybe in the order in which I exposed them, so that you go from the most biological to the more psychological on the group level, and then to the group and individual level, and then to the current way of thinking and how to really discuss it and think a bit further about it. Thank you so much, and you can follow my work. I'm Nguyen. You can go on my website, compagnieparterre.com, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a good read for the summer, and let's talk again after the summer. Be well.